Okay, yang kedua adalah British Standard Screw Threads ataupun BSW. Okay, dia beritahu BSW is one of the number of imperial unit based screw thread standards which use the same bolts, heads and nuts hexagonal size. So dia mostly kebanyakannya menggunakan nut yang berbentuk hexagonal. Okay, dan juga bolt heads yang berbentuk hexagonal. Hexagon maksudnya dia berapa tu, berapa angle dia ada, berapa sisi dia ada. Hexagon ada hexagon ada 6 lah. Hexagon hexagon 7 kan. So dia ada 6. Jadi biasa dia ada 6 tu kita akan guna British Standard atau British Standard Wisworth ataupun BSW. Okay, so there are three collectively called Wisworth threads. Okay, characterization. So kalau tengok daripada gambar rajah juga boleh tengok lah dia punya bentuk dia for the hexagonal shape. Ada 6. Jadi untuk ini kita boleh tengok lah ada dia punya H dia berapa kan, dia punya spec dia untuk British Standard Screw Thread. Okay, adalah British Association Screw Threads, iaitu BA. BA macam mana pula? Okay, so British Association or BA Screw Threads are a largely obsolete set of a small screw threads, the largest being 0 VA at 6 mm diameter. They were they were and to some extent still are used for miniature instruments and modeling. Okay, so BA threads are used in some precision instrument such as optics and moving coil meter atau relay dan etc lah. So dia punya kegunaan ni untuk dia sepat lah untuk for the precision of instrumentations. A 2BA thread is used to connect the head of a duct to its shaft. As such as it is one of the few common use of this thread in North America. So banyaknya diguna di bahagian North America. So you boleh tengok lah dia punya bentuk dia macam mana. Okay, then dia punya angle dia boleh tengok 47.50 degree, and then dia punya tu dia punya sudut antara tu adalah 23. Okay, dia adalah bagi dua lah. Okay, so boleh tengok lah dia punya diagram of isometrics or unified streets. Okay, showing identification dimension relative to the pitch. Okay, seterusnya iaitu Unified Trades Standard atau UTS. Okay, the Unified Trade Standard UTS define a standard thread form and the series along with allowance, tolerance and designations. Okay, for screw threads commonly used in the United States and America and Canada. Okay, in the United States and Canada biasa menggunakan UTS standard. Jadi it has the same 60 degree profile as the ISO metric screw threads, but in the rest of the world, part the characterizations or characteristic dimensions of each UTS thread, outer diameter and pitch were chosen as an inch fraction rather than a round millimeter value. Jadi the UTS is currently controlled by ASME and ANSI in United States. Okay, so yang ni yang kegunaan biasa mostly in United States and Canada lah. Biasa dia pelik sikit kalau USA kan, dia akan ambil okay, yang pelik sikit lah daripada lain. Okay, so boleh tengok kat sini dia punya gambar rajah design dia for UTS standard. Okay, kita tahu a diagram of ISO matrix or unified traits showing dimensions relative to the pitch and the trait height. Okay, note that while different standard ISO and UTS share the same geometry but not absolute dimensions, also shown in the location rounded permissible in the internal dark grey top and external light grey top tracks. Okay, boleh tengoklah kat sini. Okay, so for the tolerance and grade system, basic profile of ISO metric screw thread system. Okay, ni dia beritahu lah. Okay, so the basic profile is the theoretical profile of the thread. Okay, an essential principle is that the actual profile of the both the nut and bolt threads must be never cross or transgress the theoretical profile. So both threads will always be equal to or smaller than the dimensions of the basic profile. Nut thread will always be equal to or greater than the basic profile. To ensure this is a practice, tolerance and allowance are applied to the basic profile. Jadi both threads usually have a gap between the basic and actual thread profile. This gap is called the allowance with each base threads and the fundamental deviation with matrix threads. The tolerance is subsequently applied to the thread. Okay. So the method of the applying manufacturing tolerance to the internal and external threads, such as that they fit together, is by use of the tolerance class, which is combination of the tolerance grade, a number, and a tolerance position, a letter. Okay. For the internal threads, nuts, the letter is uppercase, and for the external threads, both, the letter is lowercase. Okay, ni awak boleh baca lah semua ni. Okay, dia ada female and male. For the fundamental tolerance position is defined as the nearest end of the tolerance band to the zero tolerance position, dead size positions. These positions are defined as EI for the external thread, as ES for the external thread. Okay, so boleh tengok kat sini dia punya beberapa tu lah. For the tolerance lah, biasa for the tolerance kita akan basically kita akan consider plus minus 0.05 lah, 0.5 lah. Jadi for mm kita akan tengok contoh, exactly the measurement is 10 mm. So which is the minus and plus from that value lah. Biasa kalau 10 kita achieve, so the nilai tolerance adalah plus minus 0.5. So around 10, 10.5 and juga 9.5. So kita boleh consider ni as a acceptance lah. Tapi ada value dia lah, kalau lebih pada tu atau kurang daripada plus minus 0.5, so kita consider dia adalah in our spec. Alright, so seterusnya kita masuk iaitu screw thread gauging. So untuk yang setiap thread ni kita akan ada gauge. Gauge ni maksudnya satu alat untuk measure the screw thread. Okay. So a thread pitch gauge, also known as a screw pitch gauge or pitch gauge, is used to measure the pitch or lead of screw thread. Okay. Thread pitch gauge. Okay. Thread pitch gauge are used as a reference tool in determining the pitch of the thread that is on a screw or in a tab hole. Okay. This tool is not used as a precision measuring instrument. This device allows the user to determine the profile of the given thread and quickly categorize the thread by shape and pitch. Okay, kita akan tengok based on dia pitch. This device also saves time in that it removes the need for the user to measure and calculating the thread pitch of the thread depth. Okay, ini adalah gambar rajah untuk screw thread gauge lah. Screw thread gauge. Okay, so boleh tengok kat sini lah. Okay, so ini adalah gambar rajah screw thread gauge yang ada di pasaran. Jadi kita akan tengok dia punya based on dia punya pitch of the setiap thread tu. Jadi dia akan, kita based on ni kita akan tengok dia punya size dia. Okay, so various size of the screw thread gauge. Okay, in the thread gauge system, the limit type is most commonly thread of the workpiece is ensured by control the go and not go limit. So the type of the limit thread gauge system are broadly divided into two. Okay, first adalah ISO class and conventional class, itu 1, 2 and 3. So what is the ISO class and what is the between of that Okay, so boleh tengok sini gambar rajah ni ada lagi. So kita akan tengok dia punya measurement lah. Okay, so difference between ISO gauge system and class 1, 2, 3 system list below. Okay, boleh tengok sini lah. Okay, first adalah pass or fail assessment of a not go gauge for the ISO class gauge system has been set as not be screwed in more than 2 revolutions. Okay, for the class 1, 2, 3 gauge system is not to be screwed in more than 2 revolutions, included 2 revolutions. Okay, ni saya akan tunjuklah nanti macam mana video yang menerangkan mengenai how to categorize the ISO gauge system and juga class 1, 2, 3 system, dan juga macam mana kita menggunakan thread gauge untuk melihat thread for every thread lah, screw or nut bolt. Saya akan bagi contoh lah nanti. So setakat di sini saja untuk bab yang ke-6 ini, iaitu screw thread measurement. So diharapkan semua boleh tengok lah nota yang saya bagi tu, boleh refer kat situ. Dan kalau ada persoalan boleh tanya saya lah. Dan nanti saya akan kongsi dengan awak video macam mana kita nak measure dia punya screw thread untuk contoh untuk screw ke untuk bolt ke nut dan sebagainya lah. Jadi saya akan berkongsi dengan awak mungkin daripada video tu, mungkin awak lagi faham lah, insyaAllah. Okay, so saya rasa setakat di sini untuk workshop teknologi. So ada persoalan boleh ajukan kepada saya lah. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
We'll look at identifying thread pitch and size. Thread pitch and size are very important to anyone who uses fittings or any threaded components. Here's what you'll need to perform the procedure shown in this brief video. A caliper, a pitch gauge, a thread identification guide. Let's take a look. Threads have peaks and valleys, referred to as crests and roots. The surface between the crest and the root is called a flank. Tapered threads, which may also be referred to as dynamic threads, are designed to seal as the flanks of the mating threads are drawn together. A thread sealant is required to fill in the gaps between the crests and roots to prevent system fluids from penetrating the connection. Straight threads, which may also be referred to as parallel threads, are not designed to seal. They must rely on other factors such as a gasket, O-ring, or some kind of metal-to-metal contact to create a leak-tight seal. The first step to identifying the thread size and pitch is to determine whether the thread is tapered or parallel. Tapered threads are at an angle in relation to the center line, while parallel threads are parallel to the center line. Use a caliper to measure the nominal male or female thread crest-to-crest diameter on the first, fourth, and last full threads. If the diameter increases on a male end or decreases on the female end, the thread is tapered. If all the diameters are the same, the thread is a straight thread. Now use the caliper to measure the nominal male or female thread diameter from crest to crest. For a tapered thread, measure the fourth or fifth full thread. For a parallel thread, measure any full thread. The next step is to determine the thread pitch. Use a pitch gauge and check the thread against each form until you find a match. Some fractional and metric thread forms are very similar, so this may take a little time. The final step is to determine the thread standard. Take the information you have gathered, the thread category, the nominal diameter, and the thread pitch, and use a thread identification guide, such as the Swage Lock Thread and End Connection Identification Guide, to identify the thread. Refer to swagelock.com for additional information. Thank you for watching. We will continue to develop videos like this to help you get the job done. Get more information by watching our other videos or by contacting your authorized sales and service center.